Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 2003 Ford Focus RS. Now this is part of the first generation Focus, which was produced between 1998 and 2004, with this performance orientated version introduced late 2002 and lasted until late 2003. Production was limited to 4,501 units, so easily the rarest car version of this generation of the Ford Focus. And as it is the performance orientated version, it garnered racing parts such as Sachs dampers, lightweight Oz alloy wheels and a Quaff ATB differential. Also has Brembo brakes, Sparco seats, wider wheel arches to go with a wider front track, and a 5-speed manual gearbox. And visually it has been given a different front and rear bumper to go along with those wider wheel arches, and a rear spoiler. And overall I really do like this car in a lot of ways. I have always rather liked the new edge design that was part of Ford's design orientated vision of the type period, lasting from the late 90s until the mid 2000s. And they're easily some of the best looking Fords that they've ever made, to go along the size of the Puma, for instance, which is also on this game, which means that this isn't the only car from that period in Ford's history now on this game, which is always nice to see. And it's because it is based on a standard Focus, it's as practical as one of those standard Focuses. So plenty of rear legroom, plenty of gear and practicality up front, and it's also got a really rather sizable boot as well. Those rear seats can obviously be folded down as well, so you can get even more space. But to go with all of that practicality, it does have some formidable performance. To go alongside that, all of that those handling upgrades, it now has a 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 engine, producing 212 horsepower and 228 pounds-feet of torque. And that's why this car needs that differential to keep all of that power and torque in check, because otherwise, like the Alfa Romeo 147 GTA from the same period, it would understeer like a pig. But thankfully, because of that differential, and the good brakes, this car steers and stops far better than plenty of other hot hatches from the period. And with all of the acceleration speed it has, it needs all of that those upgrades, which is really rather nice to see. And this was easily Ford's most powerful front-wheel drive car at the time, beating out the Puma from 1999. And I really like the look of the interior as well. It looks pretty modern even by today's standards. All you're really missing is a LCD screen or something like that. And this would look bang up to date even nowadays. And I like the the white on blue dials. The steering wheel, the gear lever, and the handbrake were all custom made by Sparco as well, which is makes it even more unique than it already is. And I love the seats as well, with the blue and black going alongside. It's not often that I like a blue interior, or any kind of blue interior, to be honest, but it really rather works on this. It was only available in this colour as well. Imperial Blue is what it is called, but I think it looks really rather good in blue as well, so I've got no qualms with that. But nonetheless, let's get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. So even though 212 horsepower doesn't sound much by today's standards, it is only a car that weighs 2,822 pounds, which means that this might not have the most power ever, but it is extremely lightweight, and about as lightweight as your mid-spec level hot hatchbacks like your Vauxhall Corsa and the like, which usually have less power than this. So this is still pretty bang up to date in terms of horsepower, torque, weight and handling, in comparison to a lot of mid-level hot hatchbacks from today. And that just means that this could still kick it with those kind of cars, which is impressive given this is a near 20-year-old car. But I'll just let you listen to the engine for a little bit first, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. So pretty decent sounding engine. Doesn't rev the highest ever, only about 6,500 RPM, but it has plenty of torque and across that power band, and the horsepower is generally always there, helped along by that diff, which doesn't waste any of the power or anything like that, and there is a hint of understeer every now and then, but for the most part it really does handle gloriously for a front wheel drive car. And yeah, more than likely you're going to have to be dealing with lift off oversteer more than any understeer, so yeah, you can really get this car sliding around, which is real fun. And yeah, acceleration times are pretty decent as well. 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds, 0 to 100 in 16.2 seconds, and it going to a top speed of 143 miles an hour, which is, again, even by today's standards, fairly good. Obviously the 0 to 100 time isn't the best, and the top speed could be a little bit better, but I am pretty much putting that down to the gearbox. It's only a 5-speed, so it's not going to have the highest of top speeds, and yeah, being an older gearbox, it's not going to shift as quickly as, say, a modern day gearbox would. But yeah, it's still a solid gearbox in its own right, and yeah, makes the most of that power that you have on tap. And yeah, it's easily one of my favourite post-2000 modern hot hatchbacks, even though it's not my ultimate favourite, so there are definitely some out there that I would have over this. It's still a cracking hot hatchback in its own right, and yeah, easily one of the rarest out there, with very few of them being made. Like I said, only 4,501 of them were made, and a little over 2,000 of them only came to the UK, so yeah, it's highly unlikely you're ever going to see one of these, especially if you're in America, because they didn't sell any over there. But yeah, it's still a glorious car, and it really did, I feel, set the trend, or at least help set the trend for the modern hot hatchbacks that we have of today. So yeah, well worth trying out if you haven't already. I understand that plenty of other people will probably like the newer version of this RS, because we obviously have the 2009 version, and then we have the all-wheel drive version as well of the Focus. So yeah, I can see why this would get lost underneath those two, because they are more powerful and faster, and obviously more modern. But yeah, this is still a great car in its own right, and if it wasn't for this, you probably wouldn't have got those two other vehicles either. So yeah, gotta hand it to Ford for making one of the best hot hatchbacks of the time, really. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.